Show, the Fantasy Football News Show edition. We're going to go over the news and notes going on around the NFL. Who's hurt? Who's in the news? What players are on the rise, on the decline, and then answer your questions. And then right here, Dr. Raj is going to join us in a second. Let's hit the intro, and then hopefully Raj will be calling us up right now.
Top 5 running back. You're watching the Fantasy Football Show. Smitty.
Take a lap. Show. Glad to be here with you on a Sunday afternoon. Noah in the house. Antonio in the house. Let me drag your comments on screen. Give you the love you deserve. And then a little bit later, I'm going to be doing the exclusive live with all of you. I'm trying to figure that out. There's a new product that I launched here on YouTube where I have a members-only live stream every Sunday on this specific YouTube membership. It's an additional thing. I'm not taking anything away from the Fantasy Football Show and what you guys are used to getting here. Let me get some more lighting in here. It's got kind of dark in here. I'm not taking anything away. It's an additional feature that you can get by just becoming a YouTube member. Yes, Jose, that is coming after this. I'm a little late today, so I'll be having that private live stream. I'm just trying to figure some of that out and how they'll let me create a live for just you members. So give me a second. I'm going to do that after this. We'll do a live together just with those members. Dr. Raj is calling. Dr. Raj is calling. Dr. Raj is calling. Where's he at? Where is he at? Let's see if we can get him.
What's up, my man? What's up, my man? How you doing?
There he is. There's Dr. Raj, the man, the myth, the legend.
What's up, man? How you been? How's your week been?
It's good, man. I'm just getting ready to, let me kill the music so we can hear you. Getting ready to do some news and notes. Glad you're joining, and let's talk about what's going on around the league.
Let's do it.
First thing I wanted to mention is that the Fantasy Football Throne League starts this Friday. Dr. Raj, maybe if we have an opening, you jump in one of those spots next year, but it's where the followers draft the team. It's the most phenomenal expert league out there, and it starts this Friday. So for those of you that are joining the live now, know that we start Friday, 9 a.m. in the morning, and you guys vote. Dr. Raj, you're on Team Smitty, I assume. Okay, so when I'm on the clock, if you see me doing my live where I'm deciding, hey, it'll probably be later in the day on Friday, I'm going to need your help, your vote, your people can help decide who I take, and then I go to war with the team.
We'll figure it out.
I'm number 6 overall. So I'm figuring McCaffrey's gone, Barkley's gone,
That's the move.
Zeke Elliott's gone. Let me get my headphones because I can barely hear you. Hold on a second. Dr. Raj, talk to the people.
Alvin Kamara, 1.6. That's the move. What's up, everybody? I hope everybody's been doing good. Jalen Hurd. I don't know if you guys know about my man, Jalen Hurd, wide receiver for the 49ers. He missed last season because of a back injury. He was a rookie last year. He is back. He is running routes with Jimmy Garoppolo and the rest of the wide receiver crew. Jimmy G is taking the young wide receivers, and they've been running routes at San Jose State. They're not allowed to go down to Levi Stadium yet because of the COVID laws and all that, the regulations, but they've been practicing. Jimmy Garoppolo is getting in that work. And this is one thing that I got to say. I know a lot of people hate on Jimmy Garoppolo. A lot of people hate on the guy, for whatever reason. They don't like him. They call him overrated, et cetera, et cetera. His leadership is why he's good. And him taking these receivers and leading them out there and going running their routes, right now, that's big. There's not a lot of quarterbacks are out there running routes with their teammates. But Jimmy, he's got Kendrick Bourne, he's got Brandon Ayuk, the rookie, he's got Jalen Hurd, he's got Chris Thompson out there, he's got John.
I've got Hurd news on the screen here. So you're talking about Hurd resume catching pass. Yeah, he's out there catching passes. You're talking about that, right?
Yeah, about Jimmy and all the wide receivers.
Ayuk says first round. Brandon Ayuk fully recovered from his core operation. So I have Hurd and Ayuk on screen here. Their news is sitting right in front.
Yeah, so that's perfect segment. So talking about Jalen Hurd, he's looking really nice. It looks like he's kind of shaking the rust off. And one thing that we were talking about is, he had a really bad back injury. And for him to be out there and getting those reps in and getting the chemistry down with Jimmy's important. And for him to be getting back in football shape is very important, and he is out there. They've been saying he's looking good. He's been feeling good, and that's the key. And Jimmy Garoppolo recently, he quoted, he goes, hey, let me go get my phone. I'm going to read you all these quotes.
Yeah.
He also talked about Brandon Ayuk. One second. Talk to him, Smitty.
Yeah, so guys, again, Friday, this Friday, 9 a.m. Eastern time, so 6 p.m. Pacific time, 6 p.m. Dr. Raj is time, my time. We're drafting. The Fantasy Football Throne kicks off. And you guys, the followers, I'm pointing to you up there. My camera moved. You guys, the followers, are the ones that decide what team I have to go to war with. And I need Dr. Raj's people too and him. So we're gonna hopefully get Kamara, as Sony says. And we still hear you crystal clear because you're on your pods.
Yeah.
Yeah, so so Dr. Raj, this is how I figure it's gonna go. McCaffrey, Barkley, Elliott, and it's a very run-heavy group, so I wouldn't be surprised if Mike Thomas didn't even go 4. I wouldn't be surprised if it went Kamara, then maybe Mike Thomas. Mike Thomas might even be available for us at 6, given how running back heavy these guys are. But if Kamara's gone, how crazy, this is what we've been talking about on my Instagram page. How crazy is it to consider Josh Jacobs at number 6? Because
it's pretty possible.
I think
I'd rather have Kamara.
Yeah, well, yeah, but if Kamara's gone, you're talking about Dalvin Cook.
Jacobs or Dalvin Cook.
You like Cook even with the risk. We can talk about him in a minute, but I think he shows up. But the problem is if he holds out for a lengthy period of time, he could get hurt. Holdouts lead to injury, and this is a very injury-prone player. So I worry a little bit about that. The thing about Jacobs is that he's a top 10 running back lock, even if he doesn't get more PPR work. But the thing is, Gruden, that coaching staff, that team is going to feed him the football in the passing game and rushing game this year versus just the rushing game. They were pretty adamant that, hey, we're going to give Jacobs a chance to be a PPR guy. We just wanted to ease him in his first year, and that was their plan all along. It wasn't like they didn't game plan that. You know what I mean? That they just he's not the kind of guy that's gonna come on. We're really talking about Jacobs over Henry and PPR. Noah, we are PPR? Noah.
Yes, sir.
It's a very different thing. If it's a non PPR, then Henry has top 5 overall consideration. But we're talking about a guy in Jacobs who could catch 50, passes in 2020. I firmly believe that. Okay.
So let me go back. We'll go back to the Jalen Hurd.
Very different.
Brandon Ayuk. So we'll talk about Jalen Hurd because I'm just really excited about Jalen Hurd again. We've had high hopes. Niner fans have had high hopes. This kid looked like everything we wanted in a wide receiver. He's so much potential. Shanahan took this guy in the 3rd round, former running back in Tennessee. Speaking of Kamara, this guy was basically the guy in front of Kamara when he left because he wanted to prolong his career in the NFL, and he realized playing running back, he's going to take a beating, he's going to take a toll. He's just the way he is, his physical nature. He realized I want to shift to a wide receiver and kind of have a longer career. That's what his goal was. But Baylor was like, well, we want you to play running back. We don't want you to play – or not Baylor. Tennessee was like, we want you to play running back. We don't want you to play wide receiver. So he goes, okay, I'm going to transfer. Transfers to Baylor. He transforms into a wide receiver. He's pretty good, right? Very raw, still learning the position. Drafted by the Niners, 3rd-round pick. Kamara, when he leaves Tennessee, Kamara became their number 1 running back in Tennessee. And we all know Kamara came out. He was drafted in the same draft as him. They drafted right before him, right? It's crazy. So now, fast forward after a year, not playing because of the back injury. I mean, he's out there running routes, looking good with Jimmy, and Jimmy was raving about this guy. He said he's very raw, he's explosive, he's powerful, right? There's so many little technique things, I guess you could say, he hasn't learned yet, but he enjoys learning. So that's key. He's a young kid, and he wants to learn. He's soaking it all up. This is what Jimmy said. He said, that's one of the main things I like about coming out here. When we get to talk about that stuff, you can see he's eating it up, taking it all in. And then he goes out and does it. When you have a guy like that, it makes quarterbacking very easy. That gives me chills. It makes me, Jimmy G's happy to have this young guy on his team. So Jalen Hurd, the Niner fans, Very happy for Jalen Hurd, and he's looking good. And he kind of said a lot of the same stuff about Brandon Ayuk, the wide receiver, who, as you just said, he had a core muscle injury similar to Nick Bosa. They did some surgery. He was, he actually still competed in the combine, and he looked pretty impressive, right, in the combine.
Yeah.
But, of course, he could have did better. But he had the surgery. He's cleared for full movement, and he's been out there catching passes from Jimmy. I mean, his catch rate is, you could tell. Like we talked about, that catch rate is, Jimmy throws a dime up there, and, I mean, he just puts the hand out, skyscraper, and that's what Jimmy says. He says his catch radius is so incredible, and he goes, it's going to be fun to play with that, and it's going to make me better and trust these receivers more when I have to take those deep passes, because that's what he's been working with. Everybody knows they're eating him up because he missed that pass to Sanders, but you got this guy, Ayuk, and we've talked about it. Ayuk, he's more than just a yak guy. I know he's a yak guy, that we always say that, but if you look at his statistics, actually, more than 50% of his touchdowns at Arizona State were at least 50-yard passes. That's crazy.
Yeah, and the fact that Kittle was number 2 or number 3 overall in yak yards, and that Debo is in the top 15, maybe top 10, I think. That's, it says a lot about Jimmy G, and the fact that what he's doing with an offense is more run heavy. So if he did get an opportunity to throw more, Jimmy G could probably impress people more than I think anybody's thinking. But it is going to be a run heavy offense. So it's hard to buy into Jimmy as a top 10 guy. But I hear you. I hear what you're saying, and I know you want him.
Just right now, I'm just telling you. End of the season, fantasy, whatever. It is whatever. He may not be putting up the big flashy numbers in fantasy because we run a lot, but I'm telling you, at the end of the year, people are going to look at Jimmy Garoppolo and they're going to say, damn, this guy is going to lead this. He's the kind of guy you want to lead your team. Bottom line.
Antonio Brown has pled no contest to a felony battery charge and has been sentenced to 100 hours of community service. Brown must also serve 2 years probation and undergo mandatory psych evaluation. The charge was related to that January incident where I guess he fought with a delivery truck driver in Florida. So he is facing league discipline from this, I guess.
Yeah.
Because I don't know. Yeah, it's hard. It's hard because if he was in the right spot, I have little doubt that he'd be a top 5 to 10 fantasy wide receiver for at least another season or two. But even if he walked into the best situation on earth, which he did in New England, how long before he screws up and is out of the league anyway? So it's like, even if he finds an open door, he's going to walk right out the door himself. But I think in fantasy, I have to tell people at the end of your draft, why not? Why not? Why not when you're talking about a third or a fifth or sixth wide receiver, like just grab him and hold him. Maybe
at the end of the day, at the end of the draft, you take a gamble on him. It's not like your last pick in the draft usually doesn't matter. It doesn't, just whatever. You have him if he plays. But the thing with Antonio Brown, if he gets counseling, that's what he needs. It'll help him. But really, I don't see him playing in the league. But like you said, it's not worth it. It's worth the shot to not. I mean, you're not taking him in the top 5, whatever like you would before. And as far as a player, the guy's a great football player. There's no doubt in my mind. If he can't get to any team. Without getting too
political, Bill O'Brien, Texans. Everybody knows Bill O'Brien, the guy that traded away DeAndre Hopkins for a ham sandwich. He says he's going to kneel. He's all for it. What do you think? I don't see a whole lot of players, if any, not kneeling at this point moving forward.
I don't either. I think they're all going to.
Yeah.
And I think I think Bill O'Brien, he should do this. He should say that because everything he's done so far has pissed everybody off. So if he's not going to kneel, then it's going to piss him off even more. So at this point, he's saving face. I mean, like you said, he literally traded away DeAndre Hopkins for a ham sandwich. So, I mean, he needs to do what he has to do.
So, this is going to happen. Whether people like it or not, the kneeling thing is going to become it's not just going to happen, it's going to become focused on. So just get ready. If you're not into the kneeling thing, I'm not saying you should or shouldn't be. I'm not going to go there. But I think that if you don't think it's going to happen, like team-wide, It's already in motion. Like
gonna
everyone's gonna
happen.
have to accept that that's gonna be the new norm there. And
Gonna be
it's
the
a
norm.
shame that people like I'm okay, and I respect anybody's opinion. To be honest with you,
Yeah.
as long as they're being respectful and they're being respectful of other people's opinions. What I think is going to be shameful is that a lot of people will turn away from the NFL because of this, and I don't.
Yeah.
People
I
say
think
that.
they,
Maybe they
yeah,
say that and they
people
won't
say
do it.
that. They say it because a couple years back, I mean, I know a lot of people say, "Oh, I'm not going to watch the NFL. I can't." Blah, blah. The ratings are an all-time high. So, honestly, and now with everything that we went through with COVID and everything, and people want sports, man. At the end of the day, they're not going to
Yeah.
turn this. What else are you going to do? What are you going to go do? What are you going to do? Hang out with your wife? Come on, bro. You know you want to sit down and watch football all Sunday long.
Yeah.
Come on now.
We have a lot of Henry.
Yeah.
We have a lot of Henry, Derrick Henry, and well, it's mainly Derrick Henry stuff, but Josh Jacobs, Derrick Henry, seemed to cause a little controversy at the top of the show there when I said that we were considering as a community. Now, I obviously am not that crazy. My entire Instagram community is saying Jacobs. Then there'll be a couple Henrys, not very many Henrys. You Henry is a top 5 player people in here. You're not wrong that he has that potential, but there's, and I know Dr. Raj, you love Henry too, but there's just a big difference in PPR, and if you don't believe Jacobs will get the PPR work, then I totally get that. I respect that opinion, but I think everybody, especially on my Instagram right now, we're fired up, ready to go. It was an Instagram built league, so my YouTube community, you're definitely a part of it, but it was I created the league on Instagram. So a lot of the conversations take place there, and the voting will probably take place there. I'll talk to you guys, get your opinion, try and send everybody over. Tony in the house. What's up, Tony? Tony's in the house. Hey, Tony, just so you know, I got a new membership option on the YouTube channel where you can click that join button. And there are 2 levels. One, you get a weekly private video that only members of that level get. And then there's also a tier. I'm hoping maybe guys like you get a part of it, become a part of it, Tony, where it's you could call into the show, or I'll call you, and you can be a regular. Like, so any live I'm on, Tony, you'll check in each time if you're a member of that tier. I'm hoping you become a part of that. But thank you for the super chat. Tony says, Smitty, what is the scoring system for the draft you're doing on Friday? So for the Throne League, sorry, Dr. Raj, I don't mean to go on a tangent here.
Yeah.
The Throne League is a PPR, 1 QB, 2 running back, 3 wide receivers, 1 flex, 1 tight end. The regular defensive team, and a kicker. Maybe we got rid of the kicker. It's regular PPR standard scoring. I think 4 points per TD pass. Everything else is normal. There's nothing crazy about it. And so the thinking is we're at the 6th pick. The thinking is Kamara won't be there. And if Kamara's not there, we have to choose between Dalvin Cook, Derrick Henry, and maybe Mike Thomas will be there. But we're going to guess Kamara and Mike Thomas are gone.
Mike
So
Thomas.
and if he's there, that's going to be a tough one to pass on. Although this is such a running back heavy league that literally we would be forced to take a running back in the second round, whether we liked it or not. So it's kind of dangerous to not go running back in this particular league with your first pick.
Yeah.
So that's why I think Mike Thomas might actually fall to us, but he'll be hard to pass on because of this PPR.
Because like you said, PPR league. This guy, it's ridiculous. PPR monster. He's a monster in general, and that it goes back to Derrick Henry. Like you said, I like Henry. But in a PPR league, he definitely does take a drop down because, again, he doesn't catch out of the backfield. He's a beast. He's a guy that just pounds the rock down the middle, and that's what they're going to do. They want to pound him down the middle. He had 303 carries last season. That's just
and I believe he only had a total of 320-something total touches, right?
Yeah, so this is what he did. So 303 rushes, right? Nice. And he had a total of 321 total carries. So that just shows you his limitation is coming out of the backfield. He only had 18 receptions. So that means most of his work was done on the ground, getting the ball handed off. So they hand the ball off. They're not going to throw it to him. They're going to be throwing when Tannehill's thrown, it's to A.J. Brown or whoever else they got out there on receiver. The guy had 18 receptions. It's not that he's a bad, player out of the backfield. That's just not what they do. That's not their game plan. 18 receptions, 206 yards receiving, receiving, 2 touchdowns in the air. But on the flip side, 303 rushes, 1,540 yards rushing, and 16 touchdowns. So again, non-PPR league, the guy will be a monster for you. Not that he won't be a monster in PPR league, but it's just there's other guys out there that.
And the thing about the reason why we're discussing Josh Jacobs with Dalvin Cook, with Nick Chubb, all at that 6 spot, is because in this particular league, the running backs are going to get hogged up really quickly.
Yeah.
And if all things are equal, like Kamara and Mike Thomas are there, I'm going to pick Kamara because I want that running back, because in the second round, it'll give us freedom to go wide receiver, running back, quarterback, whatever we want to do. I think we'll pass on quarterback because this is a very anti-quarterback league as well. There are 1 or 2 people that could draft Lamar or Mahomes in the late second round or early third. So he may not fall to our 3.6. One of those 2 quarterbacks may not, but that's okay because we can take Kyler in round 6. We can take Deshaun Watson in round 6. I think we'll be fine waiting on a QB in this particular league because they'll let them fall. My ideal outcome would be Kamara, Drake, and Mahomes, or Kamara, Drake, and Lamar. If that fell into our laps, I think I would be advocating for that trio, either of those trios.
Yeah, it'd be nice. I mean, I also Dalvin Cook's not a horrible pick at that spot because you got to look, 250 yards rushing. He had 1135 yards rushing, 13 touchdowns. It's huge. And then he's going to give you PPR value, 53 catches, 519 yards. He didn't get any touchdowns in the air, but 53 catches, that's a lot of extra points right there on top of what he gave you. So Dalvin Cook's not bad. He's only 24, but again, injury risk is there. Yeah. Kamara, let's take a look. I think Kamara would be very nice at that spot. It's tough for me to pass on Michael Thomas on that spot, but I see what you're saying as far as, it's a running back heavy. You got to get, the best running backs. But
because let me paint the scenario for everybody that thinks we have to take Mike Thomas, and I understand that thinking. And I'm a best player available person, so I have to feel like there's a player equal to Thomas to make all things equal and to lean a certain position. It has to be best player available to me. But the reason I'm worried about Mike Thomas for our pick is that if we get down to it being Miles Sanders, Leonard Fournette, Joe Mixon, like if we get down to those players at our middle second round pick, I'm not going to be happy with that player, so we'll probably go a different position. And then we start getting to the point where our number 1 running back, although I like Melvin Gordon, it would be like Melvin Gordon, and then who's our second running back? It's going to be somebody we don't like at all. And I'm just not going to like that at all. Whereas if I can choose early to go Jacobs and draft Jacobs, and then in the second round we get Drake, and then you start your team off with Drake and Jacobs, so you start your team off with, let's say Eckler fell. I don't think Eckler will fall, but I think there's a good chance that Eckler could fall further than Drake in this particular draft, which is weird.
Yeah. I see what you're saying. Like, it makes sense because you're right. If you wait to get a running back, you're going to end up having your number 1 running back being someone that you're like, oh, man, this guy's really not a number 1 running back. And then you're going to be pissed at your team. And, just because you get the nice, fancy receiver, I feel like it's easier to go get receivers later in the draft, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th. There's tons of dime a dozen receivers out there.
Yeah.
Whereas running backs, premium running backs, are hard to get these days. There's not a lot of, just absolutely amazing running backs.
Yeah, if I paint this picture for you, Jacobs and Drake, and then DK and A.J. Brown. Or let's say A.J. Brown doesn't fall to, let's say, I said we could get him in the 3rd round in this league maybe. So A.J. Brown and then DK, or A.J. Brown and Chark, or DK and Chark. I'm way okay with those being our top 2 wide receivers if we go running back heavy. But if we go Mike Thomas and then we have to go wide receiver. Let's say we go Mike Thomas and then the best player available is Patrick Mahomes or Tony's a new member. Attaboy, Tony. Let's see. Then who are we looking at running back? We're looking at a potential Melvin Gordon. So I think it was Hernandez says Chris Carson. Like, I don't want those running backs. I want at least two players of Jacobs and Drake, and then I want DK. Then I want those guys. Those guys as my wide receivers. So
no, 100%. Because like you said, like I'd rather have DK and Shark than having Melvin Gordon and I don't know, someone maybe like Melvin Ingram, Ingram late. Like, you know what I mean? You'll have two guys that you're like, I don't know, they're kind of middle of the road. Whereas if you get two stud running backs to start with, you're still going to get really nice receivers, as far as the long run goes. So, no, it makes sense.
Yeah. Tony, thanks for becoming a member of the show. So, Dr. Raj, I added what's called memberships.
Mm-hmm.
And YouTube allows you to now provide even further like content that you can lock down. Not that I'm gonna change anything or take anything away, but I'm gonna add extra stuff, extra features. In the particular membership, I think that Tony, I'm checking Tony real quick, got that I believe he can actually call in, or he's a member of the other one. I'll still let Tony call in because Tony's such a big time member of the show.
Big time member, Tony, big Tony, baby.
Tony and Umberger are like our high roller super chatters.
Nice.
Yeah. Tony, you got any other questions since you are the man of the hour? I know. So we got a lot. So let's talk about real quickly. Let's talk about Derrick Henry because everyone keeps wanting to talk about Derrick Henry.
Let's do it.
So Derrick Henry to me is in non PPR top 5 running back lock for sure.
100% easy, yeah.
And I think that if Derrick Henry got more PPR work, I would be more willing to draft him at 6, 7, 8. But in a PPR draft, even with the risk, I probably would still lean Dalvin Cook over Derrick Henry. Now that could change every day that passes, or if some news breaks where Dalvin Cook comes out and says, you know what, I just want to make it really clear, I'm not coming back, something like that. Of course, I'm going to drop Cook a lot, but for the moment, I still feel like Cook is probably the better option than Henry in a PPR. But do you disagree with that?
No, I pretty much am on the same boat because, like I said, with Derrick Henry, the way I look at it is the guy is just flat out impressive as far as running back, his skills. He's going to get you a lot of yards. He's going to get you a lot of touchdowns because that's the workhorse for the Titans. He's the one that sets it all up. He's the one that's going to help set up their play action. He's getting big-time runs. He's wearing the defense down, and that's going to open up play action and whatever to A.J. Brown. So, yeah, if you're in a standard league, non-PPR league, the guy's top 5 easily. There's no way around it. But, again, there are other options. Dalvin Cook, he's great. He gives you best of both worlds. He's going to get the ball out of the backfield as a pass catcher. He's going to run the ball, 250 times. He's going to get you 1,200 yards. He's going to get you a big surplus of touchdowns. So I could see Dalvin Cook being the guy that you may want to take it ahead of him at that spot. He can be top 5. But, again, if he holds out, I'm dropping him way down my board because you don't want to mess with that kind of stuff.
Even if he returns like right before the season, he's got a higher risk of injury because he held out. Little, thanks for the super chat.
All that.
What's your trade, Little? I'll break it down for you. I appreciate the super chat, kind sir. And Tony, again, thanks for being a member. Tony, email me your phone number, and if you want to go live, Tony, I'll dial you up on my cell phone, and we'll put you on. Let me know. Little is going to ask a question. He did super chat, and then he hasn't asked the actual question yet. But Little, we're waiting for you. And I know Hernandez is an advocate of taking Henry at the 6th spot if we were on the clock, and I'm not against it, Ricky. I think I'd be open-minded to it if you guys wanted to vote in Henry. I just think you're going to get a lot of people that say, hey, he doesn't get the PPR work. We're not going to take him at that spot with the available options. Like Chubb. Stefanski going over to Cleveland means that what you saw to Dalvin Cook last year, you're going to see out of Nick Chubb. And I get kind of tired of hearing people say, but what about Kareem Hunt? Kareem Hunt's going to steal Nick Chubb.
What about him?
I don't understand. I mean,
what about him?
Here's my thinking. Like, is Kareem Hunt a must-have? Yeah, but not for the reason anybody's thinking. It's not because he's going to take Nick Chubb's job. It's that Nick Chubb is injury-prone, exactly. and he's aggressive. And I think that and you could even argue he's not injury prone anymore, maybe, but that he's got risk for injury because he's an aggressive style runner that has a history of injuries, a very bad leg injury. And he was really, really overworked last year. Not that that means he'll break down this year, but it means he's he's getting a ton of work. And Stefanski's going to give him the same exact workload, at least on the ground. And he was the second leading rusher, I believe, in the NFL last year. Nick Chubb will be in the running per start for the most yards in the NFL on the ground. Now you're going to see Nick Chubb get about a 20 to 30% increase in PPR work because Stefanski funnels everything through his running back. And what happened last year with Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb is completely irrelevant because Stefanski is changing the whole dynamic of that offense. He's the guy that decides what happens, and he's not going to stray away from what he's used to doing, which is making one running back look like he just made Dalvin Cook look. So stop with the Kareem Hunt talk. Kareem Hunt is a must-have handcuff because he is just as good as Nick Chubb, but that's your safety net of having top 5 running back numbers if Chubb goes down, not because he's going to replace him.
Yeah, exactly. When you got a guy, like you said, so basically when you got a guy that can carry the ball 250 to 300 times, you have a high risk of breaking down, running down, fatigue, getting tired, especially if you've had a history of running tough and running hard and had a leg injury here and there. So at some point, your body starts breaking down. NFL's tough. You can't predict injuries, but a guy like that, at some point, he's going to need a little rest. Kareem Hunt is a safe handcuff. If anything happens to Chubb, you got his backup, and you're not going to lose anything in terms of production because he could come right in and he's going to pick up that production that Chubb's going to provide you with. So it's a smart move. It's a age-old strategy in fantasy. You get a guy like that, you have to take the handcuff because if something happens and you don't, you're going to be scrambling. Oh my God, I got to go get him before everybody else does. But you should have taken him in the first place.
Yeah, and especially when the running back, like it's one thing to say, hey, cuffs don't always work. I get that, but we're talking about the best backup running back in the entire league. So
you gotta have a cuff. Come on, man.
Little's question is: I had the 1.3, took Saquon, traded my second round, third round, fifth round for the 1.4, and the 7th. So I took Lamar and Mahomes. Or took Lamar since Mahomes was gone. So you have Lamar and you have Barkley. That's a fantastic start.
Oh, wow.
His 1.4 and 7th. Oh, 7th rounder. Okay. So you traded your second, third, and fifth for Lamar. Now, what is the scoring on that? Because Lamar typically falls into the second round little. So unless you're in a super flex league or like a 6-point per TD pass league, the move to make was probably not to grab Lamar because Lamar would have been able to be had with that second round pick that you traded and you wouldn't have to get rid of the depth. But so I don't know if you could explain that a little more in detail. Maybe you did, but if you could post it again so I could reread it. But definitely love your start. You just don't have depth now, and Lamar may have fallen. Like that's the kind of trade I do for like a Zeke, a Kamara. I'm sorry, a Zeke, a McCaffrey, or a Barkley. So I'll trade my second, third, and fifth.
It's tough when you make trades like that because you can see like, oh man, I get this pair, I can get this team, I get this great start.
Super flex.
But then you start lacking that depth, and then you can't fill up your holes. So you have to draft so strong to make up for the lack of depth you're going to have.
I missed it. It says super flex in the question. So super flex is different, Dr. Raj. I don't know if you've ever played the super flex, but basically you have Barkley and maybe McCaffrey going ahead of quarterbacks. So it's a little different. So that was a great move then if that's the case, but you still have a lot less depth now, which super I don't know. Flex. Barkley and Lamar is pretty darn good, man, in a super flex. I like it.
So what super flex means you can put anybody at your flex position?
So you have your quarterback, let's say you have one quarterback, 2 running backs, 3 wide receivers, whatever, and then you have a flex, but that flex can be a quarterback, running back, or a wide receiver or a tight end.
So it can be any position. So if your flex position is Patrick Mahomes, that's pretty damn money. Yeah.
So Little says 6 points per TD pass. So that would make Mahomes then a 1.01 for me. If it's a super flex and 6 points per TD pass, Lamar's still the number 2, 3, or 4. So I think you got yourself 2 of the top 5 overall players.
Barkley and Lamar Jackson. It don't matter who your quarterback is at this point because you're going to have
Yeah.
Lamar as your flex. Oh, I mean, it depends. You still have to get a good quarterback because you don't want to have Lamar as your quarterback. You want him to be your flex.
I think Mark's trying to make me mad here. Let's see. Mark says Kamara's not a workhorse. Where's my take a lap?
Come on, bro. We got to go over this again. Do we got to have this discussion again?
Take a lap.
Here we go. Pull up the stats.
Take a lap, Mark. I think Mark's joking with me. I'd take Drake or Clyde Edwards-Helaire first. They could be true bell cows. I don't know where you're talking about first, Mark, but okay. Let's see. Tony, did you want us to call you up? Let's see. Let me pull up Tony's email here. Rather not live tonight. I'm expecting a call. Okay, no problem, Tony. But we will dial you up next time you're in a live and I see you and you say dial me up. I will dial you up, Tony. I'll save your number, and you have access because you're now a member of the Fantasy Football Show in that membership plan that I have on the YouTube channel where you click join. Because Tony's a member of the top tier plan, I will dial Tony up every time I go live if he wants me to. That's going to be part of that plan. So kind of like, the Howard Stern show where there's regulars on the show. You got all these people that call up constantly. That's the environment I want to establish here.
That's good,
I want
man.
people.
That's good.
Yeah.
I like it. I like it.
Cool.
So let me go back to Alvin Kamara real quick. So let's check this out, Smitty. Okay, so people say he's not a workhorse in this. I think they think a workhorse means they have to get the ball like 100 or 250 times out of the back. They have to touch it as far as 250 rushing carries. That's what I think they think because it's in their mind. Oh, he's not running the ball a lot. But let me tell you, he is a workhorse because he touches the ball in abundance on this, like a lot. Like check it out, rookie season, 120 rushes. You're like, well, that's modest. 720, 81 receptions. 81 receptions. He's a workhorse. You put it in 81 plus 120. That's over 200 touches. 200 touches. That's a lot. As a rookie, that's workhorse type. You're getting in and you're doing a lot of work. Second season, 194 rushes. Okay, that's a little bit more, right? 194 rushes plus he had 81 receptions again. 81 plus 194. That's over 250 touches. That's a lot. I mean,
workhorse
270
is work. Does it say?
Exactly.
Does it say? Where does it say in the definition of workhorse, Dr. Raj? Carry horse. He's a carry horse.
Again, exactly. And then last season, he missed some time, right? He still gave you 171 rushes, okay, carries, plus he added another 81 receptions.
3 straight years of 81 receptions.
That's a workhorse.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm going to take this even further. I'm going to go and look up the definition of workhorse. Here we go.
Picture Alvin Kamara.
It has a picture of Alvin Kamara. It's unbelievable. It shows a picture of Alvin Kamara. It says he is the definition of a workhorse. Unbelievable. So, let's see. Workhorse. In the UK, a public institution in which the destitute of parish receive board and lodging in return for work. Okay? He's getting board and lodging in return for the work he's put in.
Computer, define the word workhorse.
Workhorse is usually defined as a horse used for plowing, hauling, and other heavy labor, as distinguished from a riding horse, racehorse, etc.
That's Alvin Kamara. Computer, stop.
Ask me to give you more definitions.
Computer, stop. That's Alvin Kamara. A workhorse.
That's it. A workhorse.
Dr. Raj isn't raising his head. Is he laughing or is he?
I'm just reading more.
He's reading.
Getting more.
Oh.
That's it. He's a workhorse.
It's not carry horse. It's workhorse. Work. How much work is he doing?
Alexa is a workhorse.
Now meaning all the workers employed by a
specific
organization.
Workhorse.
A draft horse. horse or dream horse.
Alexa,
Less
stop.
often called a
I need to clean her ears out. She
Yeah.
can't understand.
Just don't play
But
music.
you get the point. Yeah, she's only good at playing music. At the end of the day, the point is he gets a lot of work, and he's a workhorse in the
Yeah.
sense of he does a lot of work on that team. He gets a lot of touches. It's not just he's a running back. You know, he's a dual threat back, a dual threat workhorse.
Yeah,
Boom.
270 carry. How many carries did he have last year? 270
170
or
because he
170?
missed some time.
The year
171 plus 81 receptions. The year before, 194
190.
carries.
That's what I'm looking for. So 190 plus his usual 81.
81.
That's
Yeah.
271. Yeah, you might find a Derrick Henry running 300 times and getting you 20 receptions, so he's at 320. You might have a 50, total touch difference between the guy that a lot of people coin as a workhorse and Alvin Kamara, but you're probably gonna have more touchdowns out of an Alvin Kamara. So
Yes, exactly. He's
Little-
a dual threat guy.
hey, Little, I
He's
appreciate
Marshall
it.
Faulk. It's the thing, like Marshall Faulk. Do you not consider him a workhorse? Marshall Faulk was definitely a workhorse.
I know it's ridiculous, man.
I don't know why people can't.
Yeah, I think people
accept
just
this,
want to
Smitty.
get me upset. Dr. Raj is what I think it comes down to. I think
You
it's
know,
the only
it
thing.
makes me upset because I can feel. I know what you're saying. It's like he is definitely a workhorse in the sense of he's doing a lot of work for the team.
Yeah.
But you know, to each their own. Some people just don't get it.
Let me see real quick. Little, I'm trying to load up your membership. What level did you buy? Because it's not, for whatever reason, I can't refresh it right now. But if you did buy the top tier, let me know, and I can actually dial you up right now because that's what that membership's all about.
Oh wow!
So let me know.
Dial them up. Dial them
You know
up.
what? I want it to be like
even-
I want it to literally be like the Howard Stern show. Like, for example, Nick. I don't know if you're in here right now, but Nick is the guy that always wants me to answer the same question over and over again. You know, or it's like, is Darius Geis going to be a top 10 running back? And every day I have to tell him my answer's not changed. No, Nick. Like, that's the kind of humor that I want on the show from these regulars that call up and everybody gets to know them. And so hopefully Little did buy that. And if you did, Little, I'll dial you up right now if you email me your phone number. And you can email me through, let's see here.
Yeah. People got to learn. They got to learn, Smitty. Smitty, they got to learn.
Yep.
But they will learn eventually. But Jalen Hurd, Brandon Ayuk, I'm excited for them. Niners looking like they're going to win the Super Bowl. We already know. You already predicted it last time we played basketball. You predicted it on your show. So, I mean, everybody else should just stop competing. Niners win the Super Bowl by 2 touchdowns. So.
Let me play that for everybody because I don't think they.
That was nice. That was like your biggest viewed video, huh?
Maybe not biggest view, but most interacted video for a while. It was
blew up.
funny. It was funny.
That's why people always want shout-outs from me.
Yeah. Yeah, Dr. Roz
blew
was
up,
the
man. We blew
driving force behind that. Let me transfer this over and play this for you guys so you can see what we're talking about. The magic we're talking about here.
That was a good post. People
Where's
love
it at? Where's it at? Maybe I got to plug my phone in.
It's on your Instagram. I see it.
Yeah. All right, let's pull it up. All right, here's my Instagram, people. Shooting little hoops. I had to. Can you hear the audio? It's been a while. It's been a minute since I've been out here.
No.
I don't know No? if you guys can hear me. Can you hear me as clear from back? Let me turn off my...
Oh, real quick. I got to show you something. I got to set this up tonight. You're going to love this. This is going to be revolutionizing.
Hold on, Dr. Raj. I lost my audio on you.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Here, my crystal clear, showing up through my earpods. Hold on one second, Dr. Raj. I can't hear anything.
Okay back there?
I killed my own audio on my own show.
Oh,
What's up,
my
Jose?
God.
Son of a bee.
Unbelievable.
Hey, D-Stag,
Unbelievable.
Andrew and Noah.
I can't hear anything on my own show.
Come on, bro. That's ridiculous.
Little, welcome to the new membership, bro. I'm so glad to have you a part of it. I'm trying to get the audio here. Which membership did you get?
What's up, network? Was that clear
And
back
why
there?
don't I have any freaking audio? Can you guys
Brandon?
hear?
Hey, let me call you back.
Dr. Raj will be jumping here.
Hey,
Can
I
you
gotta
guys
call
hear
you
that?
back.
Gotta
The
jump on in a
Instagram
second.
video?
Yeah, I gotta call you
It's
back.
kind of low. Well, that's what I'm saying. Dr. Raj should be joining me.
49ers. You want two hands? You want one hand?
Whatever
Here's
you
the
gotta
video.
do, whatever makes you sleep at night.
49ers win the Super Bowl this year by 2 touchdowns.
Oh, we got it, baby! We got it! That's it. Over. Niners winning the Super Bowl by 2 touchdowns.
You guys have audio
Y'all
on
have
that?
a good night. Bang, bang! Niner gang, baby!
49ers. You want two hands? You want one hand?
Whatever
want
you
this?
gotta do, whatever makes you sleep at night.
49ers win the Super Bowl this year by 2 touchdowns.
Okay, Dr. Raj, let me try and get you back in. I lost all audio on you. Dr. Raj, come back! Way to go, Smitty. I try and incorporate something else into the show, and I completely jack up all the audio. Trying to get Dr. Raj back. Bryce Love is the cheapest. Webb says we don't care about... Hey, Webb, be careful. Careful, Webb. I may have to quit the live real quick and then see if it lets me go back live again. So hold on, bear with me, guys. I hope this doesn't end the live stream, dang it. Yes, let me keep it. All right, you guys there? Dr. Raj, you there? Let's call him back. My bad, guys. I screwed the whole audio up trying to get creative. You there, Dr. Raj? Guess not.
Hey.
We lost him. We lost him.
Hello?
Way to go, Smitty.
No.
Way to go, Smitty. Bold prediction by Robin. Miles Sanders will be a top 5 running back. We'll see. I'm not on board with that. There we are, Dr. Raj. What's up, man?
Hey, sorry, no, I had someone call. I got a bunch
Oh,
of people
okay.
calling me.
Okay, I wasn't sure if that was on my end because I screwed up.
No. So
Okay.
that's fine. So real quick before I go, I want to show you this. You ready to be mind blown?
I'm ready. My mind's ready.
All right, so check it out. A good friend of mine sent me this, and we're going to become big time. It's going to be revolutionizing podcasts for me and everything. So here, you guys ready?
Mhm.
Look at this. What is it? Boom! We got a professional microphone.
Nice.
Like you got that microphone, right? So I'm
Nice.
gonna set it up. It's boom, lapel. I don't know, state of the art. Just open this bad boy
What's
up.
up, crap,
Let's
man?
see what we got. Look at this. Oh, look at that. Oh, that's nice.
Nice. I see you going. Your pops. Your
I'm gonna
P's.
be like boom, boom.
When you're
Yo,
saying
hold on,
yeah,
hold on,
when
look.
you're saying
Bang bang, not again. Like that. It's gonna sound fresh. It's gonna sound fresh. And then we got the mic. Oh, look at this. This is nice. Going big time.
that's for when the
Look at that. This is nice.
That's great. That's good.
Let's see what else we got.
You know what that pop filter is going to help most when you're calling the Cardinals versus the 49er game and you're like Hopkins scores a touchdown. Hop.
It's gonna be Jimmy Ward just intercepted Hopkins. Oh baby, he put him on the freeze frame. Let's go.
Pop filter Hopkins.
He just got Knockins. Oh, he just got knocked out.
Cardinals
Bang.
are gonna win that game, Dr. Raj.
No, they're not. Look at it. Oh, it's gonna be like, yo, here we go. Jimmy Ward, he just popped him in the mouth.
Get your popcorn ready.
We got the mic on top of it, so I'll be like,
Nice.
Jimmy Ward just popped DeAndre Hopkins. It's gonna be nice.
Yeah, it's gonna. So we need to podcast more often. Number one.
Now we got it. Look at this. This is legit, baby. Woo! Yeah, we do.
Little, email me real quick, Little, through sleeperyou.com.
You guys are the first people seeing this. This is legit, baby. All right, Smitty, I gotta set this bad boy up. But yeah, exciting times.
Email me your number through sleeperyou.com.
It's gonna sound nice when Jimmy Ward is intercepting Hopkins.
Hopkins.
Oh,
Yeah. Hey, so I decided to not. Well, I didn't decide. It was everyone knows I'm trying to sell my house.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I'm trying to sell my house, and the girl backed out that was buying the house. I had another. Go to sleeperyou.com. Little.
She pulled out.
And there's a contact us button. She did. She did. And
dang, that's usually rare.
And so that's rare. And she jacked up the contingent, sale of this house and me buying the other house. So it's been a big mess. It's big 2 months waste of my life. Email me a little your number. And so I decided I'm staying here, Dr. Raj, and I'm building on to my house, hopefully.
Yeah.
And
upgrade. Time for an upgrade.
So in about 2 to 3 months, I hope, it could be longer, but I'm hoping that I have a new studio, a little bit bigger studio than the one I got here, so it's going to be a lot nicer.
Oh.
So we can definitely, I definitely see us doing more I'm going to create a little podcast section potentially of the studio. I'm going to have the video portion. I'm going to have the marker board. I'm going to have everything in the studio to where I'm going to press buttons and switch cameras to different sections of my studio. So
it's going to be nice. And I'm going to have this microphone, and I'm going to be yelling on it, and I'm going to say, there goes Jimmy Ward taking Hopkins.
You need to have it up, though, not holding it. You know what I mean?
I'm going to hold it. Be talking into the mic. But eventually I'll have it on my stand because I got to set it up, and I can just speak into it. And it's going to be great times. Work in progress. But, I'll probably be setting this bad boy up tonight. But, we got to do another live this week. Maybe we'll do a mock draft, and we'll go from there.
Okay.
All right, my man.
All right, man. Appreciate you. I'm gonna dial up Little. He's a member, and I want to dial him up and give him. What's up, crap? All right, Dr. Raj is out of here. Appreciate you, man. Later.
All right, man. Take it easy, boss.
But that's Dr. Raj, the myth, the man, the legend. Appreciate Dr. Raj. Go follow him on Instagram. 100,000 people can't be wrong. That's why he has so many followers. I'm really glad Crapman joined us. That's one of my longest members of my content side, Sleeper U. So I appreciate him. All right, Little, I'm looking for the email. There it is. There it is. Okay, Little, I'm calling you right now. These are the benefits of becoming a Sleeper U member on the YouTube channel. If you go to my YouTube channel, you'll see a new blue button that says join. And there are 2 options. I have 2 tiers. I might add more tiers. And I'm really looking for you guys to know. I want to know what you want. What is worth it to you to pay an additional amount of money per month? What is it that you would want for that? Because I can create these tiers based on what you guys want. But one of the tiers is basically you have access to me. You can call up the show and become a regular part of the show. It's cancel anytime. It's all through YouTube. You're paying through YouTube. You can use PayPal. And so I'm calling up Little right now. And Little is now a part of the show. Every time I go live, Little, I can't do probably... I might... If you said, hey, call me again real quick, I'm sure I'll be fine with it. But this allows you at least one call in. If you're a member of the top tier, anytime you request it when I'm live, I might wait a minute or 5 minutes depending on what I'm doing. I'm going to call you up. That's the perk of being in this tier. This is Little, the newest member, the first call, the first dial. Is Little there? Is Little there?
Hey.
Hey, Little. What's up, man? Smitty, you're on the Fantasy Football Show. You're going to have about a 10-second delay. So if you're watching it, you might want to mute that or whatever.
Yeah, I just paused it.
Okay, so you're live. This is a part of the perk. Did you get the top tier? I didn't even check. If not, that's okay.
Yeah, I did.
Okay, so you this is like the Howard Stern show. I want a group of regulars that are a part of that membership to be able to become like a significant part of the show. Now, hopefully you add some humor or whatever to it. We're gonna, maybe poke fun at your rosters, whatever. Maybe poke fun. Maybe we poke fun at your league. Maybe there's nothing to make fun of in terms of your. We're not going to totally go Howard Stern on this, but I want you to become a character in this show that people look forward to. So, Little, what is like the first question you have? Like, what is it that you've been dying to ask? Because I think you've been asking, hey, how do I ask a question? You asked me a question about your trade, right?
Yeah. So, but first, I'd like to say I just really appreciate your show, and I think I was one of like your first 100 followers on YouTube, and you always have responded very quickly to my questions, and I just want to say that it's worth it to pay and give you some money to actually talk to you for sure.
I appreciate you, man. Hey, Ricky's saying, hey, is 45. No, Ricky, you're talking about the Sleeper U membership. That's totally different. On my YouTube channel, there's a join button. And if you click the join button, YouTube gives you two options. And there's a $9.99 a month. And you only have to do it 1 month, 2 months, whatever you want to do it. And then there's a $24.99. And so those are the only two tiers I have. And again, do it for 1 month, do it for 2 months, do it for whatever. But if you do the top tier, like Little just did, I dial you up. Like you're a part of the show every time I go live. So I appreciate the kind words, Little. I appreciate you being a part of the growth of the Fantasy Football Show. It was tough moving. When you were one of the only viewers I had, it was tough treading for the first 2 or 3 months. I have to admit. I almost gave up on you.
Well, I'll be honest. I'm sorry I didn't link you or send your link out to anyone else because I was covetous of your advice.
Well, I don't appreciate that, but thank you very much.
Yes. Well, anyways, this is a league that I'm in with a bunch of people that are on a Discord all about fantasy. So these people are into it, obviously, year-round. So we started fairly cheap league, but the draft is still going. I am one person away from drafting next. And I actually have a pick in this round, 4th round, but like I said earlier, I was the 3rd pick overall. I took Saquon. First pick went Christian McCaffrey. Second was Patrick Mahomes, and I took Saquon. And then the guy offered me the 4th pick for my 2nd, 3rd, and 5th round, but he also gave me his 7th round.
Okay, so
I took that.
So you traded your 6th for a 7th, right? Like essentially you swapped those, and you gave your 2nd and 3rd?
I gave my 2nd, 3rd, and 5th, and got his 7th.
Okay, so 5th,
and
5th
got
and
his
7th.
1st.
Okay, yeah. I mean, in a super flex league, getting Lamar was critical. And it would have been better to have Mahomes in a 6-point per TD super flex. I mean, let's be honest, but at the same time, Lamar's going to do things that Mahomes doesn't do, so it could end up being even anyway. So I think having Barkley and Lamar, I just did a podcast on, and you can find it on any platform, Apple, Spotify, or wherever, iHeartRadio, where I said the two most important players in fantasy football 2020 are Pat Mahomes and Barkley. Now, in a super flex, I will put Lamar in there for sure. And if I could redo that podcast right now, I would add that into my podcast, and I should have done that. But when you look back in 2020 at the end of it, I think teams that have Barkley, teams that have Mahomes, and especially teams that have both, or in your case, Superflex, Lamar and Barkley, or Lamar and Mahomes, are going to be more often than not the winners. I think Barkley is going to have that big of a year where people are going to walk into 2021 and say he's the 1.01 without question, without
equivocation, he's the 1.1. And I think Lamar and Mahomes in a 6 point per TD league, especially Mahomes in that format, are going to be, I think, flirting with a lot higher draft ADP in 2021 than they are this year. Right now, they're still very disrespected, and people laugh at you if you take Mahomes or Lamar at the bottom of the second, which is weird to me because both of them have an ADP in the second round, which means people aren't being truthful because when they go to draft, they're drafting these guys on average that high. So why is it funny that it's like Trump voting? No one admits that they're voting for Trump, but then he wins the election. You know, it's like people are embarrassed to admit that they draft Mahomes and Lamar, and I think it's just funny. So in a super flex, though, no one's embarrassed of it. Everyone's proud of it, and I think you're doing good. You're going to have some depth issues, but you can fix that by landing some of the sleepers like Hollywood Brown. A.J. Brown could fall. Your first pick is when? After the
fourth round. It's coming up. I've got 8 hours to pick, but I'm up next.
Okay, so name the players that are there.
Okay, let me get to that.
This is Little, by the way, guys, on the phone. Little is a follower and brand new member of the top YouTube membership tier that I have unveiled. And I want to
one
make
of your first 50 followers.
Yeah, one of my first 50 followers ever. And are you a member of Sleeper U too, right?
No, I just signed up for this today.
Okay,
so,
no.
I'll get on there. I didn't realize there's two different things.
No. And I appreciate what I will do for you, Little, is because you were the first, you're the first caller. I'll send you a coupon code. Actually, if you were to buy the Sleeper U membership, the lower, I'll give you that email advice as well. So just sign up for that other one and just let me know that you did that or that I said that. Okay, let us know who's on the clock right now or who's available when you get on the clock. What are the top 7 running backs, top 7 wide receivers, and top 7 quarterbacks available?
Okay, so top 7 wide receivers. It goes Amari Cooper, Odell Beckham, Cortland Sutton.
Carson subscribed to the show. Thank you, Carson. Okay, I'm sorry. Repeat that again.
Amari Cooper, Odell Beckham, Cortland Sutton.
Let's help him out, guys. Let's help Little.
Trying to scroll down here.
And this is Dynasty, right?
Yes, it is Dynasty.
Okay, full Dynasty, not like a 2-man keeper. It's a full, you keep everybody, right?
Full Dynasty,
okay.
32-man rosters. It's a deep league. 12-team.
Okay, so you got Cooper. What about A.J. Brown? I'm kind of feeling like you're
gone.
Gone.
Cortland Sutton is there. Why can I not?
DK Metcalf gone?
No, DK's there. That's who I've been thinking about. I'm from Seattle, so I gotta have that.
Okay, you guys, are we in agreement that DK is higher ranked in Dynasty than Amari Cooper? I know some people might have a disagreement on that. Sutton, I'm not going to Sutton here if I'm him. I think Jerry Jeudy is dangerous there. I like CeeDee Lamb a little bit later, to be honest with you, but I think that if you're in win now mode, you can't make that move here. Although I want you to have CeeDee Lamb. I think he's going to be a monster. But maybe.
So I've got I can figure out how to scroll on the computer. I've been doing it on my phone, but
Little figured out how to scroll. Okay, Little.
I know. I brought it up on the computer.
We did it. If I could do one thing for Little, this is why he's subscribing to my membership. I'm teaching him how to scroll. Okay, go ahead.
So after Metcalf, Ridley, Cooper Kupp, CeeDee Lamb, Stephon Diggs, Jerry Jeudy, Keenan Allen, and so on and so forth. That's wide receiver.
I love Jeudy. I love Jeudy. I love Lamb, but you can't do that when you literally traded all your depth away. You need to pick win-now players, unfortunately. So DK's the clear call here at wide receiver. Tell me who's available at running back.
Running back, we are looking at
on it, Mark.
Early, Montgomery, Singletary, Kareem Hunt, Le'Veon Bell. James Conner, Chris Carson, Keyshawn Vaughn, Geis, and David Johnson.
No Drake, no Eckler hiding in the shadows there in that dumb rank
These
list.
guys are year-round players. So
Okay.
These guys are pretty good.
I assume Kelsey and Kittle are gone.
Yes, they went one in the first round and one halfway
Now,
through the second.
I'm just throwing it out there. I'm not saying I would do this, but is Andrews available? Because Andrews and Lamar, that's such an awesome connection to add to Barkley.
Andrews is gone. He went at 2.9.
I don't think I'd take him over DK, but it's something to like at least kick around for a second before you say no. Quarterbacks, this is a super flex league. Who are the top quarterbacks there? I would not shy away from going quarterback here. I don't care if you've got.
I've thought about it too. Joe Burrow, Baker Mayfield, Tua.
Nope.
Matt Ryan, Stafford,
Nope.
Rodgers, Jones, Goff, Darnold, Locke,
What?
Cousins, Garoppolo.
So is Brady way down there and Breeze?
Yeah, they're
Okay,
they're down
use
there.
that to your advantage, my friend. If you walk away with anything from this call, it's that let everybody else think that the narrative's there that Brady and Breeze and A-Rod are bad picks in a dynasty superflex. Don't even worry about that because you're going to have enough youth that you're going to recover from whatever when they leave you hanging high and dry. Get Brady, Breeze, or Rodgers for your other superflex spot down the way. Okay? Like, when's your next pick after this one? 7?
I have back-to-back 7th round.
Okay,
picks.
with one of those picks, think strongly, like consider taking A-Rod, Brady, or Breeze there because this is a
I
super
would
flex.
love Rodgers. I'll tell you
Yeah.
why. Because I think the Broncos are going to get him.
Well, Rodgers he's 36 years old. Don't listen to any of the haters that he's done and washed
I
up. He
know.
has at least 2 more years minimum left. DK's the clear cut pick here. Like if DK, you're not on deck, you're not on the clock. You're on deck, right?
Yes.
So if he takes DK here, I don't know what to tell you, because he's the clear cut, like the only player I like here for you that is like head and shoulders above the rest. I mean, you could look at who was the other? You said Keenan Allen, Amari Cooper, I guess, but I honestly feel.
But I like DK. I'll tell you what, I had Amari last year, and he let me down the last 2 weeks of the season big time, posting duds. And anyone that's that up and down, he had 5 games without scoring 5 points or more. That's big. Drives me crazy.
Well, I honestly think, Little, your best option is DK, no question about it. You're going to have Barkley, you're going to have Lamar, and you're going to have DK. And later on, if you can somehow maneuver a Hawkinson like down the way, or maybe a Higbee, those would be good options. Waller, for whatever reason, Waller falls. He's a little older, but I still think he has a grip of years left. Waller is a great 7th rounder if you come up on that pick, and he's sitting there and you don't like those other options. But sneaky good running back plays. Might be hard for you to pull this out. I'm sure J.K. Dobbins is gone already, right?
Yes, he went real early.
Yeah.
Let's see, I have it right here. He went 3.6.
Yeah, I think if I so badly want to tell you to find a way to trade back up to get CeeDee Lamb. You know, to have DK and CeeDee Lamb with Lamar and Barkley, you're gonna have some ballers for a long time. I think that would be fantastic. So I don't know if there's a way to maneuver back up. My only concern is that if you can get your quarterback in the 7th round and you're trading away if you could trade like a 7th and a 10th and a whatever to move up a little bit, that would be cool. But
Yeah, we got next couple of years worth of trades to make too.
yeah, so you could trade your future first rounders right now.
Yeah.
Don't be shy. Don't shy away from you. Okay, so here's the cool thing about trading right now your future first rounders. Once CeeDee Lamb finds a home within your team, your league, and somebody owns him, he's going to have a lot different value than the round does right now. So if let's say you were trading for this, what pick are you at for what?
410.
410. So let's say 5.01 because that's going to sound a lot later to somebody than 4 point something. if you offer somebody your future first rounder for the 5.01, you're probably a lot more likely to get that now than when that person owns CeeDee Lamb and you're offering your future first rounder for CeeDee Lamb. That person's probably going to say no very, very quickly, whereas right now they're saying yes to a fifth rounder. So there's some power and some like hidden value in trading those picks during the draft if you're confident that the player you're taking is, you know, is going to be there. So for me, I would trade my future first rounder for CeeDee Lamb in a heartbeat, because right now he's like my number 2 or number 3 overall. You don't know where your pick's going to be. It might not be in the top 3. So I like that move. Judy, I feel a little bit like that, but I'm more concerned about his environment. But I mean, he looks so good right now in some practice drills I saw yesterday, and guy looks so quick. And to have both of those guys somehow, I don't know if you can pull that off. To have DK, Judy, and Lamb with Barkley and Lamar. I don't care if you're playing running back carousel musical chairs all year trying to figure that out. Because, you know, there are players that you can pick up, and then if you work the waiver wire right and you land the next big waiver wire guy, like if you're on it, you're the best waiver wire working guy in your league, you know, you could definitely fill a couple holes. But try and get CeeDee Lamb somehow, but I think DK is the clear pick.
I will do that because, I mean, these guys have taken forever. This has gone on for more than 24 hours, and we're just barely through the 4th round.
Yeah. All right, Little, you got anything else for me before I let you go? And just know that anytime I go live, man, the only time I could see it not being a possibility is if like I'm live on my phone and I don't have my iPad with me, and I can't go live on my iPad. And then if that's the case and you ever do want to join and I'm on my phone, I'll actually, when I hang up, give you a call to make up for it. But you're pretty much going to have access anytime I'm on a live. You know, as long as. So I appreciate the membership. Little, give it up for Little, everybody. Let me find the round of applause. Little is our first ever call-in on the call-in membership package that we have here on the Fantasy Football Show YouTube channel. Click that blue join button. You might have to do it from a desktop computer or from your desktop right now, and then mobile, that option should be there soon, I hope. It might be like an app-to-app type of thing. All right, Little, I appreciate you. No more questions you got right now?
No, not really.
Okay.
Yeah, but you can, if you ever want to call me and just chat about fantasy, I'm always willing. I've been playing since 1993, so.
If I get bored, Little, I'll call you up.
All right, buddy. Have a good one.
I appreciate you, Little. Thanks, man. Bye. Yeah. Hey, Little, how tall are you? He hung up. I was going to ask him how little he was. But anyway. Congrats to Little. Little is our first ever call-in. And I'm thinking, so here's my thinking with the YouTube memberships. I don't want to take anything away from you guys. I don't want you guys saying, oh, the show changed. Now Smitty's charging. Like, I'm not charging anything. YouTube opened up a join these membership programs. And it so happens I can do things like that, where I'm like, hey, let me not take anything away. Let me add to the show. If you're a part of that membership, you can literally call in and be a part of the show. So, Little's 8'7", says Mark. Little, how tall are you? Okay, you want me to call you, Tony? Tony's a part of this as well, so let me call Tony. I think Tony's saying that I can call him now. Let's call Tony up. Tony, 1 second. All right, I think that's what you're saying, Tony, so I'm going to give you a call. Calling Tony up. He's also a member.
Hi, you reached Tony Turley. Please.
Tony! Tony! Well, wait a second. Get confirmation from Tony. Again, thanks for Carson for subscribing. So if you want to become a member, let me know what you guys want. Like, that seems like a cool feature. Like, already we've had 2 people sign up for that top tier membership, which... I can draft with you too. Like, think about it. If I'm live and you say, hey, Smitty, go live on this day. I'll try to go live during your draft. It's not a guarantee, but if you're live on the Fantasy Football Show during your draft, that's money, man. All right, Tony. Let me dial you up. Tony is one of the biggest ballers here on the show. Him and Umberger are legends. So let's call Tony up.
Hi, you reached Tony.
Tony! Tony keeps rejecting my call. I'll try you one more time, Tony. I'm going to stalk you. There it is.
Hi, you reached Tony Turley. Please leave your name.
Call me. Voicemail. Call me. Voicemail. Tony's playing hard to get. We're going to give him another try for sure. Don't worry. Would you take Eckler or Chubb? Eckler for me. Eckler for me. I don't care if he goes down to 80 receptions. Tony's getting cold feet, says Abe. All right, let's try him one more time. Tony's a busy guy. Like, he's got so many people calling him that he doesn't have time to answer.
Hi, you reached Tony Turley. Please.
Tony, the answer is no. Whatever rookie questions you have, the answer is no. Little is drunk. Why do you say that? Little wasn't drunk. Maybe a little. What were we saying? Oh, so yeah, get on over to. Let me see if I have any other subscribers. If you guys subscribe, email me. Tell me that you subscribed. I'm not talking about to the sleeperu.com memberships. I'm talking about the YouTube stuff. Let's see here. And I can't currently see my member subscriptions for whatever reason. Huh. That's weird. You've reached Tony. Let's try Tony one more time. Maybe Tony got a call and he's rejecting it because he's on an important call. And so he's like, stop calling. So we'll wait a minute. We'll wait till Tony gives us the okay in the chat. Oh, he turned it on Do Not Disturb. Okay. Tony, we're going to try you again. 1 second, Tony. This would be great if it goes to voicemail again.
Hi, you reached Tony Turley. Please leave your name and number, and
Well, Tony, I'm trying. And that'll do it. That's the show for today, folks. Oh. Here we go. Tony, let's try you again. I think you're still on Do Not Disturb.
Hi, you reached Tony Turley. Please leave your name and number.
Tony, we're waiting for you. Let's try one more time.
Hi, you reached Tony Turley. Please leave your name and number.
We're going to refund your money, Tony. I don't think you're getting the most out of this membership. Oh. Well, Tony, let's try him again. Oh, man.
Hi, you reached Tony Turley. Please leave your name and number.
Oh. I don't know, Tony. Do you have it on Do Not Disturb on your phone? Like swipe down and make sure you don't have that little moon
Checked. Oh, Tony. You might have only your favorites.
You've reached Tony Turley. Please leave your name and number, and I'll get back to you.
Damn androids. Yeah, you might have Do Not Disturb still clicked somehow. So, like, on your phone, swipe down from the top. If it's an iPhone, I don't know what other phone you might have. If you have a Droid. Sounds like you have a Droid, Tony, to be completely honest with you. But if you swipe down on the right on an iPhone, you'll have a picture of that moon. And if you select that bad boy, it will, I think, make everything okay. Tony is well spoken. He's subtle. He's to the point. Tony doesn't mess around. Let's leave Tony a voicemail. Let me give him his advice through voicemail. Tony, here's your voicemail.
Hi, you've reached Tony Turley. Please leave your name and number, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Thanks.
At the tone, please record your message. When you've finished recording, you may hang up or press 1 for more options.
Yeah, Tony, take a lap, and we'll see you later. We need to have Tony's voicemail in the new video, the intro, I think. Or we need to have it as a button. This is Tony. This is Tony. Hi, this is Tony. You've reached Tony. It needs to be in our show. I need to have a button for it. We need to figure out when we're going to use it. And we're only going to use it when it's really important. But it's going to be, hi, you reached Tony. Yeah, Tony. AK has a good idea. Tony, can you leave your question in your voicemail? Can you? Yeah. So I think that's what he was saying. So in your voicemail, instead of saying, "Hey, this is Tony," just say, "Hey, Smitty, here's my question," and then I'll listen to your voicemail, and then we'll answer it on the show. I think it's the best way to take care of this. Tony, maybe restart your phone. That might help. Oh, Tony. Tony, I'm coming! Tony, I'm coming!
Hi, you've reached Tony Turley. Please leave your name and number, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Thanks.
Oh, where's Tony? No problem. Tony, what are you sorry for? Why are you apologizing? You've already become the best call ever. Tony, what does Tony have to be sorry for? Smitty, I'm sorry for creating amazing content for you, is what Tony's trying to say. Joe, I appreciate. I like this way. This way is best. Tony, do you have Skype? If you have Skype, I can definitely talk to you on Skype. Let's try Tony one more time. Who are we kidding? We're going to call Tony all night.
Hi, you've reached Tony Turley. Please leave your name and number, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can.
No, you won't. Fake news. Yeah, Tony, email me your Skype ID if you've got Skype, and I can call that. Oh, man. Let me see if I can call him on Skype. Maybe Skype will let me call him. Hayden Hurst, top 6 tight end. I don't think so, man. I get people want to. I understand the thinking, but I just don't. Let's see. Can I dial? Call from... No Skype, sorry. Tony, restart your phone maybe. Restart your phone. That's usually the answer to all problems. Let's call Tony one more time. You just restarted? Okay, let's try it again. Let's try calling Tony once more before we call him again and again. All right.
Hi, you've reached Tony Turley. Please leave your name and number, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Thanks.
At the tone, please record your message. When you've finished recording, you may hang up or press 1 for more options.
Take a lap, 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 take a lap.
Tony, I left you a voicemail. Oh, Tony, we're gonna figure this out. I don't know why. I mean, I know it's not a block number problem because it's actually getting to your voicemail, but you have something going on where you're not able to accept calls or whatever. So I don't know what's going on. We're gonna figure this out, Tony. Let me call you from my Skype or from my Google Voice number. Let's see if it's actually my phone and your phone having an issue. Let's see, Google Voice. Hold on. I'm coming, Tony. Tony, I'm coming. Voice call. Hang with me, Tony. Here we go. I'm going to call you from my Google Voice number. It's downloading. Eckler or Adams? Eckler for me. All right, Tony, here I come. Ready? I know his number by heart now. Why am I even looking?
Hey, Smitty.
Tony!
That's pretty embarrassing.
Hold on.
Take a lap, take a lap.
I don't know.
Okay.
It might. I don't know. It might be something with my phone, and I'll have to see if I have anything, turned on myself. I know I called the other guy Little with no problem, so I don't understand what's going on with it. Maybe there's some.
Yeah, you gotta understand. I get a lot of robocalls. So I had a number of different settings that I had to reset to be able to get this. Since although you and I did hook up one other time when I called in about the Antonio Brown thing. So,
yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't know, man. But bottom line is, I'm well embarrassed. So
no, what are you talking about? Everyone's enjoying this to the extreme. This has been the best part of the show.
Okay.
You got nothing to be ashamed of. Okay, so tell me what's going on in your league, and so people know Tony is a member of the YouTube memberships that I just rolled out. Tony, and if you can think of another way to get people excited about this, like what I didn't want to do is create these memberships. They're on YouTube. We're not talking about sleeperu.com. That's all. This is totally separate. YouTube allows you to have memberships to the YouTube channel and allows you to give extras. I'm not taking anything away, but adding this feature I thought was a great way to not only give people that subscribe to that membership an ability to call during the live show and be a part of the show, but it also gives that content right back to the followers, and so it takes nothing away. If you think of anything that you think would be valuable like this to people, let me know what it is and I'll create a membership for it, because I don't want people thinking, oh, I'm going to give less content, now I got to pay for Smitty's content. No, I want to add extras. So you tell me if you come across anything.
Yeah, no, I'll try to think about it, but yeah, I think it's a great idea.
Okay, what's your question?
So, well, I'm trying to think of something that would be moderately interesting. I have a total of about 20 dynasty leagues. in one in particular, we've got the rookie draft coming up in about a month. In this particular one, I did some trading last year to try to work toward rebuilding, and I ended up with the 1-1, the 1-3, the 1-7, and the 2-1. And in general, I just wanted to ask your thoughts about which players I should try to target given my roster, which is Kyler Murray at quarterback, Christian McCaffrey, Josh Jacobs, and that's about it at running back. And then at wide receiver, I have DJ Chark, Stephon Diggs, Marvin Jones, Alan Lazard. And at tight end, I've got Austin Hooper and Dallas Goedert.
Okay, so you have your quarterback was who again?
Kyler Murray.
Okay, so you have Murray, you have McCaffrey, you have Josh Jacobs, you have Chark, and who is the other?
Chark, Stephon Diggs, and Marvin Jones.
Okay, and your tight end?
Austin Hooper, and Dallas Goedert.
Okay, and so the picks you have are what again?
1-1, 1-3, 1-7, and 2-1.
Okay, so my initial.
So I mean, look, obviously at 1-1, I'm probably going to be going with CEH. So
yeah, and the great part about that is that I can almost bet that the guy at 1.2 is going to take Jonathan Taylor, because Jonathan Taylor is the number one in a lot of people's eyes. So I think you're pretty much locked in to get CeeDee Lamb or Judy, whoever you think is the next best, and you need a wide receiver. So I think you could go Judy and Lamb, and lock down the elite wide receivers of the future. But we have no guarantees, in my opinion, that Judy's going to develop fast in Denver.
Right.
So I couldn't pass myself on CEH. I couldn't. I think Clyde's just going to be a top 5 running back of the future. I could be wrong on that, but I get that real deep gut instinct on him. I think CeeDee Lamb just feels like he's in. I don't know. Who do you like better, Lamb or Judy?
Well, you and I had this sort of online discussion a month ago. I think that long term, I actually like Judy better, but given where the ADP is headed, my thought was to go with Clyde at 1, take Lamb at 3, and hope against hope that Judy makes it to 7, because I think he could. And I think a lot of that is because he ended up with the Broncos.
Yeah, I think that's probably the smartest way to go about it, because I think that I truly believe that CeeDee Lamb is just more of a lock at this point. I understand why people would like Judy based on talent, and I did too. And he looks so good, like in those drills, those videos he's posted. I don't know if you follow him on social media, but he looked fast. And I think that Judy's, if the quarterback situation shakes out okay, Judy's gonna rise quicker than even I'm thinking, because I'm a little bit more pessimistic about it. I mean, look at AJ Brown. I had AJ Brown as my number 1 ranked wide receiver talent wise in January, and I let his landing spot bump him down to 3 or 4 for me. In some cases 5, depending on if you're looking for the now versus future, because I just didn't like his landing spot at all. But Tannehill was kind of hiding there. We don't know what's going on with Denver. It could be Locke. Locke could be the real deal. Or he could be as good as Winston's been in Tampa. Despite being bad, he's been good. So Locke, having all the options he has, he could be good and bad at the same time, fantasy-wise, and it doesn't matter. I don't get the feeling Locke is the future, but I could be convinced. I didn't see Lamar Jackson coming the way that Lamar Jackson brought it. So I don't land everything. I don't see everything. Sometimes players develop while they're in the NFL. They don't have to necessarily show the signs as rookies and even in their first year. So maybe Locke will prove it to me. But Lamb is for sure in a very good offense that, in my opinion, has the weakest wide receiver 1 in fantasy football in Amari Cooper. I think he's the most susceptible to fall out of favor in everyone's eyes and not be a wide receiver 1 if you were to grab all the wide receiver 1s in fantasy football right now. I just feel like he's proven to be a vanishing act before. He's very talented, very skilled, but he gets in his own head differently than other players. And what's going to get in your head more than the team drafting arguably the best wide receiver in the draft class, or a guy that's equally as talented as Judy, two guys that are supposed to be in the best wide receiver draft class we've seen in so long. How is that not going to get in a guy like Amari Cooper's head? This team is CeeDee Lamb's for the future, I think. And I think that he literally could be on the verge of excellent wide receiver 3 numbers by midseason. And then from there, we're seeing what we're going to get in the second year, third year. I don't think we can expect anything but barely 1,000-yard season and 6 to 7 scores out of any wide receiver that's a rookie. But that would be wide receiver 3 numbers, you know?
Right. Yep. No, it's. I mean, look, I don't care if he has a slightly slow start. In the long run, CeeDee Lamb's going to be a player. So.
Can you?
Oh,
sorry. Go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say again, in terms of draft strategy, I don't think there's any question that Lamb is going to go higher right now. And that's why I'm thinking I want to go with Lamb at 1-3, and if Judy's there, I'm going to take him. Now, if he's not there, I'm not sure what I'm going to do.
So who goes at 1-4 and 1-5 then, in your opinion, based on your league?
Well, I mean, I would have to presume, J.K. Dobbins. In fact, you know what? Let me look up the rookie ADP right now.
Because I think that Judy probably falling to 7's optimistic. Can you trade up? Can you trade future draft picks that aren't even being, can you trade like 2020 draft picks?
Yeah.
Because you could potentially look. You could potentially look into, look at it this way. The 1.2, and then you'd have a dilemma of whether you take Jonathan Taylor at that point, because you'd want to take Judy, but because you need wide receivers. But what if you traded your 7 and your future first rounder for that number 2, and then you control destiny at that, your own destiny at that point?
1, 2, 3. Yeah. Well, worth a try, and I agree. The problem is that the current number 2 pick is owned by a team that's been orphaned, so it's tough to trade.
So, what does that team? Does that team need running backs pretty bad?
Let me take a look.
Because that could determine whether it's even needed to go to that team for that pick. If you want to take Judy,
sure.
Now of course I'd try and trade.
Yeah. Oh, this roster's horrid. I see why I abandoned it.
Yeah.
His running backs are Tariq Cohen, Jordan Howard, Marshawn Lynch, Sony Michel, and Jamal Williams.
So he's taken Jonathan Taylor pretty much guaranteed, I'd say. So if you have the 1, the 3, and the 7, how much do you think it'd take to get the 7 to the 4? Because then you have Judy locked, you have CeeDee Lamb, and you have CEH, and you have literally the 3, in my opinion, the 3 cornerstones of this rookie class, and guys that I think all 3 of them could be top 15 overall players in fantasy. What's going on, therapist?
Yeah, the 1-4 and 1-5 are both held by the same guy, who has Chris Godwin, Juju Smith-Schuster, Mecole Hardman, Emmanuel Sanders, and Dede Westbrook at wide receiver. So he might be willing to cough up the 4, but what he's going to do is he's going to angle to give me the 5, of course. And then at 4, there's always the risk that he's going to take Judy at 4, but it's not a lot because his running backs are pretty weak also. In fact, I would think he'd probably be leaning running back. So, yeah, it's a possibility. I don't know whether I would need to offer him next year's first or not.
Yeah, that would be tough, though, to go from 7 to 4 and give up
only 3 spots.
Yeah, so. But you got to ask yourself, would you take Judy number 1 overall next year if you threw him into that 2020 rookie draft pool and say to yourself, am I willing to overpay to say, hey, I know for a fact that my team isn't going to be a top 3 or 4 overall pick. So, you're not even doing that. You're not even giving up the first overall pick next year. In your mind, you're giving up 2 6 overall picks if you're in a worst case scenario. I do that for Judy.
I think unless my tight ends just completely, shat, that I'm going to make the playoffs. I've got McCaffrey, I've got Kyler.
Yeah, you got DK. If you get CeeDee Lamb and Judy, I don't know if I care about my future picks at that point. Like, you have literally the, McCaffrey, Jacobs, Kyler, DK, Judy, and Lamb. I'd be willing to, Tony. How much you play in a lot of baller leagues? How much is the entry fee on this?
This one is the annual is $260.
$260. Okay, so this is small. This is chump change to you. You play in like bigger leagues than this. I think it would be fun to take this on that way and get rid of the future.
I like it.
The future draft pick, and it might take that from somebody like him, and sometimes I find a guy that owns back-to-back picks, for whatever reason, it makes it harder for that guy to trade either one, because he doesn't want you to be ahead of him. So he's going to be like, I don't want to give you my 4, I want to give you my 5, and then no matter what, he won't trade. Like, you could run into that where, like, literally you could offer him, a whole bunch more than what we're even talking about, and he'd be like, I just out of principle can't have you drafting at 4 and me at 5. Like, he might just not be able to handle that. So you might find that you don't pull us off, but I think that would be an overpay, but an overpay that in hindsight you'll look like a genius, because I think Judy could be that good.
Let me ask you while I've got you, are you okay with my 2 tight ends in the dynasty setting? Again, I've got Austin Hooper and Dallas Goedert. My thought is that I'm going to roll the dice and hope that Hooper performs this year. And long term, I do like Goddard, so I think I'm okay.
Yeah, and
the obvious question is, I mean, I don't need to take a tight end at 2-1.
No,
in my opinion.
I mean, you could. It depends on who's there, but I wouldn't object to it if there isn't, like, Antonio Gibson. Like, that's a good pick. So I'd rather have the upside there. If you're talking about I don't know. 2.1 is pretty good. Like, when you actually look at it, there are a lot of players like have to fall. Mims is oftentimes there. If you get Denzel Mims on top of all this, like, even if Lamb or Judy fail, I think Mims won't. Like, I think out of those 3, 2 of them will be not just good. Like, you hit home runs with 2 of those 3 wide receivers. There's possible Mims is still amazing even if Judy and Lamb are. But if you can get Mims at 2-1, I don't even hesitate to do that, because he's a big difference maker. That's a potential, maybe not a lock, but a potential elite player at his position, whereas the tight end you get isn't probably going to be that. So, Burrow.
Star tight ends in this class.
Yeah, Burrow I doubt falls, but if he did fall to 2-1, I'd consider him too, because if Burrow ends up being the real deal, that's a great quarterback to toss onto that team. So.
Well, sure. It's just a single quarterback league, so I'm not overly concerned about quarterback.
Yeah.
Because I like Kyler, and actually I already have Roethlisberger as my backup.
I mean, I love Kyler too, but if Burrow is a top 5 elite quarterback, some people think, some people don't think it. I'm torn because he only has 1 year of being, the quarterback that we've all come to know and think is got that potential, but. If he's that valuable, you'll have a lot of trade value later. But I think Mims is probably the best way to go if he's there. And he oftentimes is. Justin Jefferson might be a guy. Andy said Jefferson. Pittman, people are very high on Pittman. I'm not opposed to Pittman, but I'm not just as high, I'm not on the Pittman hype train as much as other people. It's not that I don't like him.
Well, I like Pittman. I frankly, I told you a month ago, I like Mims better. I think Mims is the number 3 wide receiver in this class.
Mims, he could be the number 1. Like, he's so talented. I just don't love Darnold, but at the same time, that's where some good fantasy wide receivers are made, in awful environments where they're throwing, they're down, they're throwing, they're down.
Right.
And Mims.
You take Mims hoping that the Jets fire Gates the next day.
Right. And Mims, if Darnold, who's practically as bad a problem here, if Darnold throws horrible or errant passes in Mims' direction, Mims is going to, reach out and grab that. He's got such a big catch radius, and he's so dominant with defenders like Hopkins is that, he's going to walk in with the skill set needed to catch badly thrown balls that are fed to them over and over and over because they're down by a lot of points in the third and fourth quarter. It could just be that Anquan Boldin scenario where Anquan Boldin in Arizona, his rookie year, was just force-fed, because the Cardinals were constantly throwing from behind in the third and fourth quarter. So Mims is in the best situation out of all rookie wide receivers to get the volume.
For 40 years I was a Detroit Lions fan, and I still remember that first Antoine Bolden game.
Yeah.
It was just ridiculous.
Yep. Antoine Bolden.
What was it, 212 yards his first game as a pro?
I forget, it's something crazy, but Bolden walked into the best setup environment that really a lot of analysts didn't see coming because they thought bad team, rookie, no. But yet it was like throwing from behind constantly, the only guy to throw to, it just turned out awesome for him. So Mims is, walk away with, try and get Judy. Definitely take CD and Clyde Edwards-Helaire. I forgot about Clyde Edwards-Helaire when I was breaking down your team. So you have Kyler, Christian McCaffrey, Josh Jacobs, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, who you can start at flex, right?
Yep.
And then you have Chark, CD Lamb, Jerry Judy, maybe Mims. I don't care about my first. I'd give up my first and second rounder next year with my number 7 overall for the 4. Let everybody laugh at me. And say, oh, you really overpaid. What did you overpay? You can reflect on that the next year when you have the number 11 or 12 pick, and you're like, okay, so I traded my 7 and 12 for Jerry Judy. How do you guys like that now? Right. It'll be one of those things where people, because it's what you're supposed to do, laugh at that. What you're supposed to do is accept that.
Look, if you believe in Jerry Judy, it makes sense.
That's as simple as that. It's simplified. It's as simple as if you don't want my phone call, you reject it over and over and over. It's that simple.
God. I hope nobody's on here who knows me.
Don't worry, Tony.
I look like an old fart.
You look like you know how to create good content. So be easier on yourself.
Well, thank you.
Well, so far you and Little are the 2 new added characters to the Fantasy Football Show. I really appreciate all that you contribute to help keep the lights on. To help keep these lights on, I don't know if you're watching, the lights are on because of Tony and Little today. And I'm really hoping, not because I care about numbers, Tony, but because I care about what the numbers can help me then do for the show. I really hope we get into the 10 to 15,000 subscriber range on YouTube in 2020 here, because it's going to open the doors for me to cut back on other things, because I'm chewing off all kinds of things to make all this work. And so to be able to say, you know what, I'm going to maybe be able to hire somebody to do that, or I'll just cut that out entirely and focus on this. I can provide, my goal is like a 10 to 2 show, or a 7 to 10 at night show, whatever works for whatever the people demand. And I want to literally have something that everybody can count on, like I keep referencing the Howard Stern show, but something that Sirius Satellite Radio eventually, doesn't buy me out, because they don't really do that, I don't think, or they could, but I want to be on there as well. I want people to be able to find this show like in a 4-hour block every single day. And it's people like you, Tony, that help that happen. So I appreciate you.
Well, thank you, buddy. I sincerely appreciate the opportunity, and I just want you to know I think you're doing a good job.
Thank you.
You're obviously working hard, and you're good at it, so keep it up. And, look, from my perspective, I view it as another, fantasy football friend. So
I appreciate it, man.
I love it.
Anytime I'm live and you want to be dialed up, and actually I'll shoot you a text so you can send me a text as well. That way it's a little easier. But if I'm live, let me know that you want to be dialed up, and I'll dial you up. So I just need a nudge.
All right, buddy.
Okay, thanks, Tony.
Yeah, thank you.
Bye. Should we call his voicemail again? Let's try it one more time. No, I better not. All right, he might pick up that time. All right, so that's the show. I appreciate everybody that has subscribed. I didn't get to read any of the chat while I was talking to Tony, so let me skim through. I don't know if we got any new subscribers to the new membership plan on YouTube. Let me just refresh and make sure. If you did, just email me right now. But Tony is a member. Tony, Little, T-Man, Jake, Jose, Hitman. Let me show you the YouTube
the guys that are new to the membership levels here. And let me just put that on the screen. Clipboard that SOB, drop it up. These people right here are helping keep the lights on today. Little and Tony subscribe to the $24 a month plan that they can cancel anytime, so they can do it for 1 month if they really want to. But if they want to become a part of the show and dial into every single live, Little and Tony are going to be able to do that. These fine folks right here are a part of the other $9 a month membership that gives them the exclusive video once per week at least, and I'm going to send that out tonight. And then they also have a free, or they get access to my live chat. So I'm not sure how that's going to work yet. It might be that I've got to restructure that plan a little bit and figure it out, but I'm going to go live here in a second and see if I can do it just with these members. So I don't know. I'm going to try that right now. So I'm going to end the show. If you are Hitman, if you are Jose, if you are Jake, if you are T-Man, and then Turley and Little also get this because the highest platform gets everything below it, I'm going to go live here in a second for, I believe I can let it so that you guys can all, actually let me go into my YouTube settings here and see if I can adjust that feature here. Because if so, I'd like to make the live available to everybody so I'm not taking anything away, but the chat becomes locked down on that live only. So it's going to be Sunday mornings during the hour before games. The people that are a part of that $9 a month plan get that access to me. So let me just figure out how to do this real quick. Live studio. Go live. Okay, I see my live thing here. Bear with me, guys. Sorry. I'm trying to see if I can edit this right now so I'll know. Visibility is public, but I want to know if I can change the settings. Okay, here's some options. DVR added closed caption. That's not it. Analytics, that's not viewer activity. Thank you, Tony, for the super chat. Thank you, Little, for the super chat. I can see that here, which is awesome. Edit the video. Live chat. Oh, maybe here it is. Live chat. No. Ooh, here we go. Unlisted. All channel members. Okay, so I don't know how this is going to work. I'm going to go live here in a second. So if you're a part of that membership, you will be able to get involved in that. So I don't know. I'm going to figure it out. All right, guys, I appreciate all of you. Subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you, Little. Thank you, Tony. Thank you, T-Man. Thank you, Jake. Thank you, Jose. Thank you, Hitman. You're all members of the Join Now blue button on youtube.com/The Fantasy Football Show. Let me see if I have any other questions real quick. Smitty, can I join a Dynasty League with you? Noah, I do those often. Just kind of have to keep an eye out for that. I may do a league with everybody that's a member. I think that might be a perk. That's what I'm going to do. I don't know if I might have to change it, though. So Hitman, Jose, Jake, and T-Man, I might have to contact you, delete that tier, because I don't know if this live thing is going to be as useful to you guys. It might be more of like I play in a league with you and give you the videos per week instead of the live. I'm gonna figure it out. So I'm going to end right now and start a live for just those people, and we'll see if any of you show up and see how that works. Appreciate all of you. Thank you. Look for that live to post here shortly.